In this episode, we're going to see if we can get a forward-facing manifold to fit onto my Forester, so we can clean up this engine bay. It's Saturday morning now. It's about 2 degrees here in the garage, and we are going to head off to the wreckers to see if we can pick up a different manifold, so we can get it up higher, so we can have a reverse mount. So we need to be able to clear here. So hoping for probably 30 mil or more. There are quite a few Subarus at the local wreckers. There are a couple of SF Foresters there as well, along with some G3 Imprezas and Liberty as well. They're all 4 cylinders, so we could do the swapping and changing at the wreckers to make sure it works. Hopefully everything's still there. Fingers crossed. Let's hit the road and go check it out. Alright, just jumped into the SG. Let's get this warmed up. It's now 4 degrees. Alright, made it to the wreckers. Let's get in there and see what we can find. Alright, we got heaps to play with. I think I've already found one. Maybe possibly this one. Alright, SF, single overhead. Might be able to get that intake off and put the other one on. So looking at this intake on the Liberty 07 Liberty that comes off here. Somebody's already taken it off. That's good. Alright, so I got the Liberty manifold off. It was just sitting on there, which is great. So you can see if that can fit on here in reverse and clear this and then clear the bonnet. Alright, I've put a lot of stuff off the Liberty manifold and well, it doesn't fit. I had to take the alternator off. Comes pretty far forward. Alright, with the cable throttle body, this is not going to work. Now, way off. There's nowhere to mount the cable. Get Volonic spacers. I've got 6mm at the moment, but you can get thicker ones now. And you can get 19mm spacer on top of the TGVs as well. Might push it up high enough. Alright, ended up getting the manifold. It's 50 bucks. Gonna have it the other way around. Longer tube, even, so got to shave a lot off it. So let's do that. We got the other manifold that we just picked up from the wreckers. So I need to get it off the TGVs. I decided to get the TGVs as well because maybe later down the track, if I want to upgrade my side feed injectors on the XT, we can put these ones on. Because my original TGVs, I deleted everything here, so I don't know, maybe, let's see. So we'll get them off and we'll fit this to here, see what it's like, see what things we need to change. Alright, I'm just going to strip this down. So taking off the bolts that attach the manifold to the TGVs, and take off all of these ones, and we'll see how it fits onto mine. A little bit of difference. The brake vacuum is here compared to here, so that's a lot closer. There's a lot of shaving to do on this manifold if I'm going to use it as well. So I cut the hoses further back because these get really brittle. So what we want to do is heat them up, make them soft again, and then we can pull them off. I'll check the part number compared to the XT, and hopefully we can swap them over. Hopefully that fixes the issue of white smoke out the exhaust every now and then, and the fuel smell. This is the purge valve. So this should, there we go, with our tgvs, gaskets. These look bigger. You can see there's here, I can shave all of that off. That's the exhaust gas going back in. Let's see how it looks on the car. Well, this is so much lighter without the tgvs. Alright, we're just trying to make this fit at the moment, so I'm going to have to loosen off the tgvs so we have a little bit more movement. We should be able to bolt that down, and then we'll work out if we need to, what things we need to shave. I'm going to have to shave down here so we can get, I don't know, that one on the other Forester that I was at the Wreckers was different. It was hard up against it. Alright. Alrighty. So yeah, just loosen off these. We should have a little bit more play. Should be able to bolt this to our TGV deletes. Alright, so unfortunately this manifold setup is not going to work at the moment with that throttle body. It doesn't match up properly. Pushed everything further back as well. Get rid of all this EGR stuff. Maybe when we go to drive-by-wire eventually we could put this on, but at the moment I think maybe if I want to do a reverse mount, we are going to have to get some spacers to clear over here. I'll show you. Alright, let's look at the throttle body to begin with. TPS on the side, idle air control valve I'm not using, boost I'm not using, I'm using it from the Haltech, and then we've got cable, and then the water that runs through I'm not using. See that surface area? See that surface area? So, and you can see there, they are 10 mils, they are 12. And when we put it on, we have a gap. This galley here is a gap, so that's a vacuum leak. Alright, so that doesn't match up. And if we're doing reverse mount, you can see that doesn't line up. So to have this reverse mounted, the alternator does need to be relocated, even if we did a spacer. Whereas if we swap this over to my stock one, because you can see here that surface is way past there, and you look on this one, it's actually further back. So this one goes on, we actually have quite a bit of space. So we can get, well, when I've been building this, it wasn't available at the time, but now there's 19mm spacers that you can put on top of the TGVs to space out your manifold, which actually makes it a longer tube manifold. However, the problem with that is they're like $350 for a set, which is ridiculous just for spacers. I know there's 2 of them, but see down here I've got Philonic spacers. I think they're 8mm. You can get like 19mm now, so you got like 40mm that you can push this up, and I'm pretty sure we need to get to 60mm to clear that. So is it worth it? No, I don't think so. Just to have probably 200mm shorter intercooler piping. One thing I'm going to do though is probably relocate this fuel pressure regulator up onto the firewall, so we don't have to run that line through the manifold. So it makes it hard getting it on and off. It means I have to disconnect the fuel line every time I want to get the manifold off. I know you don't take the manifold off all the time, but I do. Anyway, we're going to stick with this for now, so I'm going to flip it back around and bolt it all back together. Probably should paint it while I've got it off, but I want to get it all running first before I paint it. I'll probably go back to a red. Well, it never was a red, but I'll probably go to a red. Everything just blends in because everything is black. Alright, so I've relocated the fuel pressure regulator up onto the firewall there. Just working out where I'm going to do the flex fuel sensor now. So we should be looking better over here for space. The intercooler piping going around, but might be a little short. Could always swap these ones for these ones, and the T-piece will be further down here. We'll work it out. It's dinner time now, so I'll come back out a bit later. Alright guys, I've pretty much got it back together. The manifold isn't bolted down yet. Still got vacuum lines to put back. However, I think I've sorted the fuel. Got the flex fuel there. I need to make a mount for that. So I've got the lines running down under the manifold now, so we can easily remove this. I'll probably 3D print maybe 2-inch high adapters so we can rotate the intake. I'm going to clean up things. Then we can mount the flex fuel a little bit neater. 3D print, meaning test 3D print and then 3D print molds, and then maybe carbon fiber composite something or other. We'll see, maybe. But yeah, I think at the moment we're going to keep with the rear facing manifold. Let's see how we go. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. We do have a manifold down there to play with, but it's going to be a lot more work. We can make those spaces. We could get this manifold to work. It actually looks like a mess. This pipe here actually cleans it up because there's so many lines around there, which would get covered up by a top mount if there was a top mount. Alright guys, in conclusion, the Liberty manifold, the longer tube manifold, will not fit onto my TGV deletes because the bolt holes are actually slightly different. So if I do want to run that, I'd have to run some adapters that I could probably make using 3D printing and molding and whatnot. But we're going to stick with the original manifold. I might make some spaces for this to pump it up and eventually turn it around. If I do want to do reverse mount with that one, I'd have to relocate the alternator like most people do, which I don't really want to do because I want to keep AC, because in Australia it gets hot and we want to ride in comfort. I did move around the fueling, so now we have the flex fuel here instead of wedged down there and not mounted to anything. Still need to make a mount for that. We have fuel pressure regulator onto the firewall now. Just need to run some vacuum up to there. Also, if I reverse mounted that, would have to change up the wiring for the intake air temp and the TPS, and the cable we would have to have running along the firewall and then out. So if I do make those spaces, we'll be able to clean up the hoses and stuff that run underneath as well, because it will give me more space to run them underneath and over to here instead of around the back. So not all manifolds bolt onto all Subaru engines, guys, so take it from me, do your research. Hopefully this could be some of your research. Yeah, I didn't know they were different. I thought they were the same. Obviously the heads are the same, so if you use the TGVs, it'll bolt up. So if you get the traditional longer tube without the TGVs, it should work. But because I've already got radium, TGV deletes and rails and stuff, I didn't bother. And that's where I went wrong. So I'll catch you next time when we get into the wiring and we get it started up again and hopefully driving. I've got some V-band clamps to put on too, so we're not leaking. But yeah, getting there. It's only taken 10 years, but we're getting there.